Welcome back to the Haunted Lore podcast, where we go deep into the shadows of forgotten tales and whispered legends that refuse to fade into history. Today, we're traveling to the bustling heart of Johannesburg, South Africa, where we explore the legend of the wandering security guard, a phantom protector whose story has become woven into the very fabric of Milpark Hospital's identity. This isn't just another ghost story. It's a testament to dedication that transcends death itself. A tale that challenges our understanding of duty, loyalty, and what it truly means to guard something precious. So, dim the lights, settle in, and prepare yourself for a journey into the corridors of the unknown, where the boundary between the living and the departed becomes as thin as hospital walls themselves. What makes Milpark Hospital a perfect setting for the supernatural? To understand the wandering security guard, we must first understand the place he protects. Milpark Hospital stands as a monument to medical excellence in Johannesburg's diverse landscape, its modern facade hiding decades of human drama, triumph, and tragedy. Built during an era when security protocols were vastly different from today's sophisticated systems, the hospital relied heavily on human vigilance. Guards who walked their beats with nothing but flashlights, keen eyes, and an unwavering sense of responsibility. The hospital's location in Johannesburg places it at the crossroads of countless human stories. Every day, ambulances rush through its gates, carrying the hopes and fears of families, while inside, life and death decisions unfold in operating theaters and emergency rooms. It's a place where emotions run high, where the veil between life and death is constantly tested, and where the spiritual residue of intense human experience accumulates like layers of invisible sediment. How did the legend of the wandering security guard begin? The story of the wandering security guard begins not with a dramatic death or tragic accident, but with something far more poignant. The simple, steady dedication of a man whose name has been lost to time. According to the whispered accounts passed down through generations of night shift workers, this guard served the hospital during its earlier decades, when security meant long, solitary walks through dimly lit corridors and careful attention to every shadow and sound. Those who claim to have encountered him describe a figure dressed in an outdated uniform. Not the modern security attire of today, but the simpler, more formal garments of decades past. The fabric appears worn but well-maintained, the kind of uniform worn by someone who took pride in his appearance and his role. His presence is most commonly reported near the emergency department, that crucial gateway where life's most urgent dramas unfold. What makes this apparition particularly fascinating is its behavior. Unlike the stereotypical ghost of popular imagination, vengeful, confused, or trapped, the wandering security guard appears to be continuing his duties with the same methodical dedication he showed in life. Witnesses describe seeing him walking predetermined routes, pausing at specific checkpoints, and seeming to observe the hospital's activities with the careful attention of someone genuinely concerned for its safety. What pattern emerges from these mysterious encounters? Night shift workers at Milpark Hospital have developed an informal oral tradition around these encounters, sharing stories during quiet moments in break rooms and corridors. The pattern that emerges from these accounts is remarkably consistent, suggesting either a shared delusion, which seems unlikely given the independence of the witnesses, or something genuinely unexplained. The sightings typically occur during the quietest hours of the night, usually between 2 and 4 in the morning, when the hospital's daytime bustle has settled into the more subdued rhythm of overnight operations. Staff members report glimpsing the figure in their peripheral vision, often assuming it's a colleague or actual security personnel, until they realize that no guard is scheduled for that particular area or time. What's particularly intriguing is the figure's apparent awareness of modern hospital operations. Rather than mindlessly repeating old patterns, witnesses describe behavior that suggests the entity is adapting his rounds to current needs. He's been spotted near new construction areas, around recently installed equipment, and in sections of the hospital that didn't exist during his presumed lifetime. This adaptive behavior suggests something far more complex than a simple residual haunting. It implies consciousness, purpose, and genuine concern for the institution he once served. Why does the emergency department hold special significance? The emergency department holds special significance in the legend of the wandering security guard. This is where his presence is most frequently reported, and where the encounters tend to be most vivid and detailed. Consider the nature of this space. It's where life and death decisions happen in real time, where families receive the best and worst news of their lives, and where medical professionals work under intense pressure to save lives. In this charged environment, the appearance of a protective figure takes on deeper meaning. Staff members have reported seeing the guard during particularly busy or stressful nights, as if his presence increases during times when the hospital's mission is most critically engaged. Some witnesses describe a sense of comfort rather than fear when encountering him, as if his spectral rounds provide an additional layer of protection for both patients and staff. The emergency department is also where the hospital interfaces most directly with the outside world, where ambulances arrive at all hours, where families rush in with loved ones, and where the boundary between the hospital's controlled environment and the chaos of external life becomes permeable. It's fitting that a security guard, whose role was always to monitor and protect these boundaries, would focus his eternal vigilance on this crucial threshold. What does this legend reveal about the nature of duty? What elevates the story of the wandering security guard above mere ghost story is its exploration of duty and dedication. Consider what it means for someone to be so committed to their responsibilities that death itself cannot end their service. This isn't a tale of unfinished business in the traditional sense. There's no suggestion of injustice, tragedy, or unfulfilled promises. Instead, it's the story of someone whose sense of duty was so profound that it became part of their essential nature. This raises fascinating questions about the nature of work and purpose. In our modern world, we often view employment as transactional, time and effort exchanged for compensation. But the legend of the wandering security guard suggests something deeper. The possibility that meaningful work can become so integral to one's identity that it transcends physical existence. The hospital environment amplifies this theme. Healthcare institutions are places where duty takes on life and death significance, where the commitment of staff members directly impacts human survival and well-being. In such an environment, the idea of eternal vigilance becomes not just plausible, but almost inevitable, a natural extension of the profound responsibility that defines hospital work. Why do hospital authorities remain silent about these encounters? One of the most intriguing aspects of the wandering security guard legend is the conspicuous silence from hospital administration. While staff members freely discuss their encounters in informal settings, there's no official acknowledgement of the phenomenon. This silence creates an interesting dynamic, where the legend exists in parallel to the institution's formal culture, acknowledged by those who work there but invisible to official records and public communications. This administrative silence is understandable from a practical perspective. Hospitals must maintain public confidence in their rational, scientific approach to healthcare. Officially acknowledging supernatural phenomena could undermine that confidence and raise questions about the institution's credibility. Yet the persistence of the legend among staff suggests something that cannot be easily dismissed or explained away. The result is a kind of dual reality where the hospital functions according to official protocols during the day while harboring this deeper, more mysterious layer that emerges during the quiet hours of the night shift. This duality reflects the complex nature of institutions that deal with life and death. They must be simultaneously rational and scientific while acknowledging the profound mysteries that surround human existence. How does this legend fit into the broader pattern of hospital hauntings? Milpark Hospital's wandering security guard exists within a broader tradition of hospital hauntings found worldwide. Healthcare facilities, perhaps more than any other type of building, seem to attract and retain spiritual phenomena. This pattern suggests something fundamental about these spaces that makes them conducive to paranormal activity. Hospitals are places where intense human emotions concentrate. Fear, hope, love, grief, and relief all converge within their walls. There where people face their mortality most directly, where families experience their greatest joys and deepest sorrows. This emotional intensity may create conditions that somehow preserve or attract spiritual presence. Additionally, hospitals are places of transition, not just between health and illness, but between life and death. They exist at the threshold between states of being, making them natural locations for phenomena that also exist at boundaries and thresholds. The wandering security guard, as a figure who patrols these boundaries and protects these transitions, fits perfectly within this context. What modern relevance does this ancient legend hold? In our contemporary world, the legend of the wandering security guard takes on new relevance. As hospitals become increasingly automated and digitized, with electronic surveillance replacing human patrols, the image of a dedicated guard walking his rounds represents something we may be losing. There's a human element to security and care that technology cannot fully replace, the intuition, compassion, and genuine concern that come from personal investment in protecting others. The continuing reports of the wandering security guard suggest that this human element persists even as technology advances. His presence serves as a reminder that behind all the sophisticated medical equipment and digital monitoring systems, healthcare remains fundamentally about human beings caring for other human beings. As we conclude today's journey into the corridors of Milpark Hospital, we're left with more questions than answers, which is exactly how the best legends should leave us. The wandering security guard represents something profound about human nature. Our capacity for dedication that transcends the physical world, our ability to find meaning in service to others, and the mysterious ways that institutions can become repositories for human spirit and purpose. Whether you view this legend as literal truth, symbolic metaphor, or collective imagination, It speaks to fundamental truths about work, duty, and the enduring nature of human commitment. In a world where cynicism about work and institutions runs high, the story of someone whose dedication literally outlasted death offers a powerful counter-narrative. The next time you find yourself in a hospital during the quiet hours of the night, whether as a patient, visitor, or staff member, take a moment to appreciate the countless individuals who have dedicated their lives to these institutions of healing. Consider the security guards, nurses, doctors, and support staff who work through the night to ensure that help is always available when needed. And if you happen to glimpse a figure in an outdated uniform walking purposefully down a corridor, perhaps pause to acknowledge the enduring power of duty and the mysterious ways that dedication can echo through time. Thank you for joining us on The Haunted Lore. If you enjoyed today's exploration of the wandering security guard, please subscribe to our podcast and share it with others who appreciate the intersection of history, mystery, and human nature. Leave us a review and let us know what legends from your part of the world deserve investigation. This has been the Haunted Lore Podcast. Sleep well, and we'll see you in the shadows.